In this video, we want to talk about how to read a CSV file in Python programming language using the Pandas package, so please stay tuned. Here is a CSV file, which you can see the link of this file in the description below. And as you can see, the extension of this file is CSV. And if you don't see these extensions, you should go to View. And remember to check this one, because if you don't check this one, you cannot see the extensions. But if you check file name extensions, you can see that the extension of this file is CSV. CSV stands for comma separated values. And why do we call it comma separated values? Because, for example, if you open up this file with a notepad, so let's open this file with a notepad, you can see that the values are separated by comma. So as a matter of fact, a CSV file is simply a text file, a comma separated values file, which is a simple text file. But for example, Excel is able to read this file as well. So if I open this file with the Excel software, you can see now we have these columns. It has 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But remember that as a matter of fact, these values are separated by comma. But this is the capability of Excel, which is able to read the CSV files as well. But as a matter of fact, CSV files are text files, comma separated values file, which are a kind of text file. And maybe you ask, what is the reason to use CSV files instead of Excel files? So let's see. So if you see the file size of each of these two datasets, which they are the same dataset but in different formats, in CSV format and in Excel format. As you can see, this file, the Excel file, is about 6 times of this file. Its size is 6 times the size of CSV file. And generally speaking, CSV files are very common in data science, machine learning, and you can see that a lot of datasets are available in CSV format, and you should read those datasets in CSV format in Python programming language. So in order to read a CSV file, first of all, you need the path of that file. So I right click on it, then go to properties, then go to security, and I should copy this path. So I copy that, and let's go to PyCharm. Now I should simply import the Pandas package, which is used for reading that CSV file. So I import Pandas as PD, and then I simply type pd.read CSV because I want to read a CSV file, and I should pass the path of this file. That's it. And maybe you ask, why do I put this R before the path? The reason is, if you don't pass this R, you should convert all the backslashes to slashes, or you can convert all the backslashes with the 2 backslashes. So I think it's a better idea to put R, which means raw text, which means consider this path as it is, as raw text. There it is. And then I store the results in a variable, let's say called df. Now if I print the df variable, let's say df.head, which means the top 5 rows. So if I pass head 10, it means top 10 rows. So if I pass 6, it means top 6 rows, and etc. So if I run a code, you can see here is the top 6 rows of this iris dataset. And if I want to index these columns from column 0, remember that Python starts counting at 0, from column 0 all the way up to 1 column before the last column, I can simply type, for example, df.ilog, so all the rows, and column 0 all the way up to -1. And -1 means the last column. But remember that this one is exclusive. So when we say from the first column, the 0th column, all the way up to -1, it means from the 0th column all the way up to 1 column before the last column. Why? Because this is exclusive. That's it. And then I store that, let's say, for example, in a variable, let's say called x. And also, I want to name the last column y variable. So I simply type df.ilog, all the rows, and the last column. So now, for example, if I print the x variable and also print the y variable, if I run a code, you can see here's our x and here is our y. But now let's suppose a dataset which doesn't have any header. So here, as you can see, this is the iris file without a header, which again, the link to this file is in the description below. So if I open this file, you can see that this file doesn't have any header. So let's read this file in Python programming language using the Pandas package. First, we need the path of this file, so let's right click on it, then go to Properties and then the Security tab, and let's copy this path. There it is. And now let's go to PyCharm, and now I simply paste the path here. So now if I print the df and if I run the code, you can see by default the first row is considered as the header, which is not true in this case. So here, because our dataset doesn't have any header, so I should simply pass another argument which is called header. So I simply pass header equals to none. It means our dataset doesn't have any header. So now if I run the code, you can see now the first row is not considered as the header row, but it considers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as the column names. And as you can see, Python, it starts indexing at 0. So it says this is the 0th column, and this is column with index 1, column with index 2, column with index 3, and column with index 4. And maybe you want to change the names of these indices, so you can do that as well. So here, let's define a variable, let's say called names, which is going to be the names of our column. And now let's type the names of our column. So now I can pass this variable to the read CSV function in order to read that CSV file and consider these names as the names of the column. So I can simply pass an argument which is called names, which is going to be the names of our column. And the names of our column is this names variable, so I pass names. And now if I run the code, you can see that our dataset has these values as the column names, which is this variable. Now I really suggest you to watch this video which is on the screen now.